Now it's time to press buttons and talk with Manky and ProZD.
What? What?
I didn't even get to say it.
You wasted time laughing.
It was so funny.
I want it to be just like Will Powers, like someone who's not.
Hey guys, it's what's going on here? Oh, who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now. Here I go, for real this time.
It wasn't me, pal.
And it wasn't me this time either.
It wasn't me either.
It was me! It was me! It was me!
Why did you?
Because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir, and I just want to be part of this.
There's more?
Oh, yes.
Why didn't you say so earlier? What? Hurry up and spit it out, you idiot!
But it was more dramatic. Oh, yes, sir. Yell at me again. That blood I mentioned. It's not of the same blood type as the victim's blood.
What?
No.
What? What?
I said it's not the same type as the victim.
What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood?
It tastes different.
If it isn't his, then who the hell's is it? Oh, I said a bad word.
I don't know, sir.
That's why this game's rated T for teen.
All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim, sir. What shall we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore.
Neither do I.
My, what an amusing turn of events.
I hate this guy.
I know. I hate him more than I did back then. That blood drop proves something to be true, all right. Namely, my words.
And which one of your words would that be?
All of them. The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. That blood has nothing to do with a murder investigation whatsoever. People bleed. Whatever. Need I remind you that the blood got onto the box long before it entered my embassy? What sort of nonsense?
Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder.
So you would like to believe.
This has been like a 2-hour conversation.
It's been a very long time. I don't give a fuck anymore. But what if someone preparing the samurai dogs had a small nosebleed? What then?
Ugh, I guess that's possible. Damn it! Have we been wasting our time on a red herring?
Guess I'll go home. The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough.
Quercus Alba, you bastard!
Whoa. Dude,
come on.
Let's chill out here, jeez. Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again. What is this, rated T for teens? Man, I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through.
Not so fast.
Oh my god.
Alba, it doesn't matter where you run off to. You'll never escape me.
I'd like to try.
Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see. And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see to it that that day comes.
Do you know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt. I really can't help it when
I'm part of the pack too.
Is this really the extent of all that we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case?
But I didn't finish.
Or is there another possibility? Someone else other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who has been backed into one.
Is it the other victim?
In a situation like this, what would that man do? What would that guy, what would he, who can turn any desperate situation around, do?
Just make shit up, Edgeworth.
That's what he would do. Turn it around. That's it. I must turn my way of thinking around. No, I said just make up shit, man. I didn't say turn around.
Yeah, I always just go, I don't ever prepare at all for
it's
cases.
Not whose blood is this. It's whose blood could get onto the box like this. And if I think about it that way, if the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. And there is only one person that could be.
Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from center stage, and will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever... I shouldn't talk about that. Never mind that I just said. I'm not evil. Freedom like that is what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky.
I'm the ringleader.
You can't lay a finger on me. Not now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me, even though...
Objection!
Kind of just saying that now.
Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you.
Oh, come on, man. What do you mean?
Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful.
What? Pitiful? How so? What? That's mean.
Quercus alba, your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who's trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you.
It won't work. Ha! Mere words. What do you mean by his wings are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't see any wings on him.
Just what you think it means, Kay. We'd already caught him in our trap a while back, with an incredibly powerful, definitive piece of evidence. Hey, Earth to Mr. Prosecutor. Care to speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence? The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood.
But we know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to this case at all. Is there like another victim or something?
Ms. Von Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's very important to the case. And the part that is the most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good. Then I believe you are already aware of what I mean. Then you know who the blood belongs to? Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person.
It's the mask guy?
No.
No?
Do you remember somebody had a little ouchie?
Oh wait, I forget who.
It was Quercus alba!
Oh, that's right, he got hurt. He has that wound.
Take that! The blood of the rising sun on this box belongs to you, Quercus alba. What?
Why is his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim. Only victims bleed.
The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Cochin's body was being loaded into the pushcart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer. So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim...
Then there is only one other person it could belong to.
Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion. But Mr. Cochin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding? What if during the murder, Mr. Cochin had fought back?
You mean, if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Cochin managed to wound Mr. Alba?
Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding then. What is the piece of evidence that shows that Mr. Alba was probably bleeding at the time?
Got a boo-boo.
Take that! Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound.
That was from when Damas II attacked me with a pair of scissors. Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room.
Ah, but is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
No, that sounds really scary and fucked up. Objection! You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility.
You are one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as the smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal.
Objection! I am the master of my fear.
That's dramatic.
I mean, I'm innocent, but I just say shit like that. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing.
You believe I've overlooked something?
You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Cochin, and that it was caused here in one of the theater's dressing rooms, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound, and one that could only have come from a blade. I wonder where you will propose that such a weapon came from. Ah, this theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort.
Not so fast! Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in the alabaster knife in a bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort.
Ah, but as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Cochin stabbing me is pure nonsense. So if that other way does exist, you'd better hurry and tell me now before I get out the door. Here I go.
With pleasure.
Oh, hurry up. Wait, what?
This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Cochin brought a weapon into this theater.
Let's see, how'd he do it?
It's our classic favorite piece of evidence. It's
shit,
something that looks like one thing, but is actually,
Oh, god damn it. Alright. Yeah.
Finally, take that! Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarasu's key.
That key. That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago.
And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife.
Wait, tell me about
Meaning that under the guise of a key, it could have been easily brought into the theater.
No!
You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back in Mr. Cochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe, there was a document about Cadopian paper, signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Cochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Quercus Alba? And that is what some may call the coup de grace.
Impossible. Meaningless. You can't take me down. Swine, all of you making fun, ganging up on me, like, especially Manny Cochin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the snuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador.
Somebody record this?
Oh shit. Do you have a carrot pin or something? Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt for all of my crimes from me. That's why I sent out the Yatagarasu's card and how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the snuggling ring's leader who was killed by the Yatagarasu. But I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors. You ever watch Scooby-Doo?
I've never heard of that. Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask.
My reference.
I only watched Mrs. Monkey. This country's or Alabast's, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. Or as in the cartoon world, that's all, folks.
Edgeworth! Yeah!
Finally,